All right, on tonight's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our artificial intelligence course and we're still doing our learning module. Let's have a look at what we went over tonight. And last night, if you recall, the last thing we went over was the Markov decision process. We're going to pick up where we left off. So, what might this actually look like in practice? Let's create a simulated world where we have an agent that is just trying to navigate its way. The agent is our letter A in our grid, like a robot in the world, trying to navigate its way through this grid. And ultimately, it's trying to find its way to the goal. And if it gets to the goal, then it's going to get some sort of reward. But then we might also have some red squares that are places where we get some sort of punishment, some bad place we don't want the agent to go. These squares are represented by our letter R. And if it ends up in a red square, then our agent is going to get some sort of punishment as a result of that. But the agent doesn't originally know all of these details. It doesn't know that these states are associated with punishments. But maybe it does know that the goal state is associated with a reward. Maybe it doesn't. But it just needs to sort of interact with the environment to try and figure out what to do and what not to do. So this is our initial state here. You can see this is our initial model. We have our agent down here. We have our red squares here that represent punishments that the agent doesn't know about. And then we have our goal here that maybe it knows is some sort of good reward, maybe it doesn't. So what it's going to do is it's going to try to navigate through this grid here or through this world and try to get to the goal. So you can see we made our first move here. We ended up in a red square and got a punishment. So we had to start over because we don't want to get in any red squares. Next, we went up because we had to start over. So we went back to our original state, which was here. So we moved up because we know we couldn't go right because there's a red square there. We learned from experience. So we moved up. So we didn't get any immediate rewards here. So we stayed there and then we made another move. So from there, we went to the right. So we still didn't get any rewards, but we didn't get any punishments either. So sort of a neutral zone. So we're good here. Then we tried to go down and ended up in the red zone again, or a red square, and got a punishment. So we learned that once we got to this square here, that going down wasn't a good option because it's going to get us a punishment. And after experience, we learned that going up was going to get us a punishment also. So going up wasn't an option. So eventually, after trying all of those different moves, we did end up in this state here. And the process repeats. So we might imagine just letting our agent explore the world, learning over time that states what states tend to correspond with poor actions until eventually, if it tries enough things randomly, it might find that when we get to this state here, you can see our agent, and we take the up action, it might find that it actually gets some kind of reward for that because we end up in the goal. And what it can learn from that is that if it's ever in this state, we should take the up action because that leads to a reward. And over time, it can also learn that if we're in this state, we should take the left action because that leads to the state that leads to a goal. And we're talking about this state here. If we're ever in this state, we know that we should go left because this state is the state that leads us to a goal because we've been here before and we've done it. So if we ever in this state here, we know we should go left because that's going to lead to our goal. So we begin to learn over time not only which actions are good in particular states, but also which actions are bad, such that once we know some sequence of good actions that leads us to a reward, our agent can follow those instructions, follow the experience that it has learned. That's what I'm going to leave it for tonight. That's pretty much the gist of what we went over. We're going to keep moving forward. And of course, I'm going to keep you guys posted every step of the way. But for now, this is the Python Poppy. You guys stay Gucci.